I'm Pastor Aaron Harris, and once you watch this video, you'll know whether or not you should buy, lease, or finance a car. Right now, it is harder to buy a car than it has ever been. Used car prices are way up, new car prices are being marked up, and the interest rates are sky high. The average price for a new car is over $45,000, and the average price for a used car is over $26,000. Buying a car is when you purchase the vehicle outright by paying the full amount. Financing a car is when you take out a loan and make monthly payments until the car is paid off. Leasing a car is like having a long-term rental with the option of purchasing the car when the lease is up. So when making a decision whether it's better to buy, lease, or finance a car, what we need to look at is your individual circumstance. So I'm going to go over the pros and cons of buying, leasing, and financing a car. You've heard the saying, cash is king. Purchasing a car outright is usually the best option for most people. But most people are not able to purchase a car outright because they do not have that type of money saved. One of the reasons that it's best to purchase a car outright is because right now interest rates are through the roof. For the best interest rates, people are paying about 6%, but there are a lot of people paying 12%, 18%, and even 22% for their car loan. So if someone buys a $60,000 car at a 10% interest rate, that means that first year they'll have to pay around $6,000 worth of interest. $6,000 works out to about $500 a month that they're paying on interest alone. And that doesn't include their car insurance. It doesn't include their car note itself. It's just the interest that they're paying. So you could see why it's important to stay away from high interest loans. So my number one recommendation for most people is that if you have a good amount of cash, that you just go and purchase a car outright, even if you need to purchase a used car so you avoid paying that high interest debt. So most people, when they go to buy a car, what they do is they finance a car, which means they take out a loan to make monthly payments, and they continue making those payments until they pay the car off. And once they pay the car off, then they get the title to the car and they officially own it. Today, cars are so expensive that they are stretching out the amount of years that people are financing the cars for. I remember most people would finance cars for about 5 years, but now most people who are going and financing their cars are picking 6 years so that they stretch their payments out, and so they pay less money each and every month, but they pay more money in interest over time. And instead of being done paying off their car in 5 years, they actually have to pay a whole additional year. So most people choose the 72-month option to go and pay off their car today. So the con of going and financing a car today is that you're going to pay high interest rates, but the pros of going and financing a car today includes the fact that you'll be able to get a better car than you would be able to if you only had cash. Leasing has gained a lot of popularity over the last few years, and a lot of people are choosing to lease a car rather than buying it outright or financing a car. Most leases last for 36 months, which is 3 years. And after those 3 years, then people will have the option to buy the car at the price that the dealership sets for you. When looking at it from a financial perspective, leasing is the most expensive option that a person can choose when buying a car. One thing that is attractive about leasing a car is that every 3 years, someone can go and upgrade to a new car. So leasing is a great option for someone who feels like they're gonna upgrade their car every few years. So instead of purchasing a car every few years and selling your car or trading it in, instead they can lease and then they can upgrade when they are ready. One of the negative things about leasing a car is that they usually have a 15,000 miles a year limit on it, meaning that you will have to pay the dealership additional money for every mile you drive above 15,000 miles. Now, this may be okay for someone who has multiple cars and doesn't plan on driving their car a lot. But if you have to commute frequently and you drive a lot, then leasing would probably not be a good option for you. Also, when you turn in your lease car, you may have to pay additional fees and fines for wear and tear that the car went through while it was in your possession. So leasing is a great option for someone who has a ton of money and wants a new car every few years, but it is a bad option for someone who doesn't have a lot of money saved and invested to continually go and lease cars, because then you'll never really own the car if you keep on upgrading your car every few years. And the good thing about when you own a car outright is you don't have any more payments and you can use that money to build wealth for yourself. You could save that money, invest that money, and help to build your financial future. So my number one recommendation is that you go and you purchase a car outright. So do what you have to do to save money to purchase a car outright so that you're not hit with a ton of interest. If you're not able to purchase a car outright, then your next best option is to finance a car. But you want to finance as least as possible. You want that loan to be as low as possible because you do not want the interest payments to go and drown you. You do not want to suffer financially because you paid too much for your car. And then lastly, the option of leasing is only for people who have a ton of money and want to keep upgrading cars. But if you're not there yet financially, then don't even consider leasing. You just want something that you can own and eventually stop making payments on. Another recommendation is that you not spend more than 15% of your net income on transportation. Transportation includes your car, your gas, your insurance, everything involved in transportation. You want to make sure that you have enough money to save and to invest. One of the middle class traps that keep people from getting ahead and keeps them living paycheck to paycheck is getting trapped in a cycle of expensive car payments that stops them from getting ahead. You do not want to get trapped in that cycle. You want to make sure that you're saving, that you're investing, and that you're spending your money wisely. So I know that nice new car looks good and you really want it, but you may need to hold off to make sure that you are financially able to save and invest in your future. So if you enjoyed this video, then continue watching my other videos, which will tell you all about financial literacy so that you can grow your resources.